Our heroes are ready to set out on the most dangerous journey of their life. Can they evade the dangers and reach the Commonlands from Kunark? For brevity, we will follow along in an accelerated manner, but the journey was done with no spirit of wolf or similar speed increase effects. After buying the Shadow Knight spells, Lagar and Montague started the journey from East Cabilis to the Commonlands. Lagar had an old map of the known world, gifted to him by his father. It was from a famous cartographer named Brewall. This map would aid them in their journey. They made their way through the city and found the entrance to West Cabilis near one of the town canals. Lagar looked briefly in the map to make sure they were going in the right way. They followed along the canal until they arrived in the Necromancer Guild. Those pink robes were still giving Lagar the chills. He decided to not enter the building, so the only way was to jump in the water. Ixes are born swimmers. Well, maybe not Lagar. They were reaching a point in which the city would be left behind. Lagar did not stop, slow down, or even look back. He pressed forward to the Warslicks Woods. It was night when they left the city. The Warslicks Woods are dangerous for two young Ixers like this. The dense foliage of the forest would also be a problem for them. They were crossing a forest in the dark and blinded by leaves of huge trees. They had to be careful. Lagar was leading Montague using his map. They were trying to get to the Overthere. Goblin bodies started to appear before them. That could have been a good sign. Less danger for us, Lagar thought before rushing into a giant fortress. Oops. They went back and tried to go around the fortress, but there were enemies there. So they decided to follow the creek next to it, trying to evade goblins and what else could be there. They were getting close to the Overthere. Suddenly, a goblin outrider appeared out of nowhere in front of them. Lagar tried to hide, but Montague was too slow to notice the goblin, so he pulled the aggro. Although the enemy was stronger than them, it was only one. They thought they could take him. All was going well. They would kill the outrider and continue their journey. Unfortunately, the enemy started hitting harder, and Lagar was missing all his punches and kicks. But there was still hope. It was a race. They would make it, or would they? The goblin managed to take Montek out with his last breaths. Lagar had no time to mourn his friend as an even stronger enemy appeared. He hid behind the hills. They were so close to leaving this damned forest. Lagar would not risk his death, so he waited in the woods while Montek was making his way back. A terrible scream echoed in the night. It was the Shadow Knight. An Ixer footpad was following him. "Run the other way!" Montek shouted. And Lagar turned. "Do you think we can take him?" asked the tired Lagar. "Just run! Stop for nothing. This time we reach the Overthere," replied the Shadow Knight. "Just lead us there." They went up and over the hills without minding any danger. If they stop, they die. So they ran and ran and ran. The map was showing them they were close to being safe, but they could not see anything a few meters ahead. They hit an invisible wall. They zoned into the Overthere. First area done. Lagar reached for the map in his pocket and double-checked they were out of the forest. There were still some trees in the area. They tried getting to high ground to have a view of the Overthere. It was beautiful. They saw a huge Ixer statue down in the fields below and were intrigued by it. Who it is meant to be? Lagar and Montek ran in the direction of the shore. An ogre passed them by. It was the first time Lagar had seen one of them. The journey was already being full of newness. Lagar saw some rhinos down in the plains and remembered the stories of how aggressive they were, so he decided to go all the way to the shoreline. Their destination was a translocator that lived in the docks of an enemy outpost near the sea. They had to be careful near the water too. There were many sarnaks and tigers roaming the area. They had traveled very far and were tired, but they needed to continue. Staying too much time in a single place could mean death for young Ixers like them. Lagar reached the point in which he couldn't see anything inside the water or in the sand dunes above him. He prayed there was nothing strong on both sides that could take them out. He was still trying to check for enemies, looking up and down. They finally made it to the outpost, but there wasn't anyone friendly in there. They had to find another way to the docks inside. So, they went into the ocean. An erudite passed them by. Lagar was ecstatic. They were known masters of the arcane, hailing from the continent of Odos. This time around, Lagar showed how a good swimmer he was, and he reached the dock in no time. They were careful to not draw any unwanted attention. Montague went first. Then Lagar asked the translocator to teleport him to the Timorous Deep. Still hated in this place as well, they ran as fast as they could to get another teleport to the South Desert of Ru. They were getting close to the Commonlands, but first they had to cross the Desert of Ru. The easiest way to do that was to follow the shoreline. There were some caimans and crocodiles along the way, but I guess their shared heritage with the Ixers made them dubious to attack, so they were free to pass near them. The northern part of the desert was more dangerous. Lagar wanted to take a shortcut and go directly to the Commonlands tunnel, but decided against it in the end. So they continued to follow the shoreline until they were out of the sand. Lagar could feel the most dangerous part of the journey had come to an end. They were near the finishing line. They made it. Lagar was the furthest from home he had ever been. The first thing to do was to bind to the area. Otherwise, all the journey could have been in vain if he died in the desert. And surely there would be some deaths. Montag said his friends were waiting for them. It was finally time to meet the rag band of adventurers. Like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time.